Why can't you sell your art consistently? What did the truly successful artists do differently? Selling art consistently isn't just about talent or posting more. It's about thinking like Picasso and Warhol did. These artists weren't just painters, they were visionaries that built empires through storytelling, branding, and business. They understood human psychology. So Picasso didn't only sell paintings, he sold a persona. Andy Warhol turned himself into a brand, and Dali sold his mustache. So I spent a lot of time researching and studying 5 successful artists in history, and what I learned from them blew my mind. It completely changed the way that I feel about selling art. If you've ever wondered why some artists, they seem to effortlessly sell their paintings and their art while you struggle, you're not alone. I used to think it was all about talent, skill, and connection, but that's not what it is. I discovered that the artists that sell consistently, they think like entrepreneurs. So today I'm breaking down 5 artists: Picasso, Warhol, Dali, Kusama, and Hirst, and how they turned their art careers into a movement and the strategies that will help you to do the same. So stick with me until the end because I'm going to show you what I've learned from all of these artists, the one principle they all shared, and how it's the opposite of what most artists believe. So let's begin with Picasso. So Picasso didn't just master art, he mastered attention. He constantly reinvented himself from the Blue Period to Cubism, making himself a master of reinvention and refusing to be predictable. So I just came back home from a family trip in Andalusia, Spain, where I visited the Picasso Museum in Malaga, and I was blown away. I came home buzzing with creativity and inspiration to do this video because it just opened my mind that Picasso, he was not only the most prolific artist of all time, creating about 50,000 pieces of artwork during his lifetime, but his work and style kept constantly changing. However, there was this one theme throughout his work, which was the theme of women and human emotion, and that is the thread within the evolution of all of his work. He started making art, creating portraits, and from there, his style kept evolving. So Picasso from Spain moved to Paris. He was creating a lot of work. He was working in his studio prolifically. However, his big break came when he met Gertrude Stein, who was his first patron. So Gertrude Stein, she was famous for creating these art salons where she would get together all of the prolific artists, Ernest Hemingway, Picasso. They were all hanging out in her living room, talking about art, showing their work. They were riffing off of each other's work. So Gertrude Stein was bringing these artists together, and it was really important for the work of many of these artists because these salons were shaping not only their way of thinking, but their art. So Gertrude Stein was one of Picasso's patrons, and that was obviously a big break for Picasso. And through her influence, he became known for Cubism, which was a big shock in originality in the art world. Cubism was a new visual language, so we can attribute Picasso's success to being prolific. He was not afraid to experiment. He was networking with a lot of different artists in the right places. He was a regular in Gertrude's art salon, and he created a new original visual language. Dali, on the other hand, he made people fall in love with his personal myth. So Dali turned his mustache into marketing. He staged his own eccentricity to become unforgettable, according to Dali himself. He once said, "The difference between me and a madman is that I am not mad." So Dali made his life his art, and in today's terms, Dali was his own personal brand. His art sold because his persona, his brand, was unforgettable. So like Picasso, Dali studied classical painting in Madrid and moved to Paris. And in Paris, he got to know the leader of this new art movement called Surrealism. So Dali began to collaborate with André Breton and also with another surrealist known as Luis Buñuel, who was a filmmaker, and these collaborations put Dali on the map. However, meeting his muse, Gala, was a game changer in his life because Gala began to manage Dali's art career as a business. And again, we see the importance of shifting the mindset from artist to business owner. And I know a lot of artists have a problem with that. However, I don't. I'm a small business owner myself. I make jewelry and I also sell my paintings. And I see this as actually being a service to my clients. So I infuse spirituality into everything that I do. I created a spiritual jewelry brand, and also I make paintings that are for uplifting consciousness. because I am a seeker and a mystic myself. And this is what Dali was selling to his collectors. He was selling dreams, he was selling wonder that were healing for his clients. His branding was all about being this mad artist. And madness is also a human need. It is cathartic. We all need a little bit of madness from time to time. So Dali showed us that you don't only sell your paintings, you sell also who you are as an artist, your story. And you don't need to perform. You can do like what Kusama did. You can allow your art to speak from your soul. And Yayoi Kusama sold infinity. So she built her empire from one simple concept. Dots were her obsession. And she turned these dots into a symbol, a repetition, her expression, and infinity. Like many artists, she also experienced poverty, but her integration into the pop avant-garde movement in New York is what got her noticed and got the attention of art dealers. So from her, we can learn that consistent sales comes from owning one idea completely. You don't need to do everything. Just do that one thing. Give it your all. Do it completely. Do that one thing your way, with your voice, your obsession, your style. Just do that one thing all the way. But for some artists, art is not emotional or spiritual. For them, it is a product. And that's where Damien Hirst enters in the scene. So Damien Hirst once made $200 million in one day. And this was a shock to the world, to the art world, and to the entire world because he completely removed the galleries and all of the gatekeepers. And this was a radical move for its time. So in the 80s, Damien Hirst was part of this art movement called the Young British Artists. He was extremely active in this movement and caught the eye of Charles Saatchi, the most influential art collector in the world. Charles Saatchi was Damien Hirst's first patron. So Hirst proved that boldness and control matter. He turned himself into his own marketplace, which was revolutionary. So from him we can learn how to not depend on gatekeepers. And finally, there is Andy Warhol. Warhol turned a can of soup into a $15 million idea. He erased the boundary between art and business, creating his studio, the factory, into a hot, trending place where everybody wanted to hang out in. And in his studio, art was mass-produced like fashion. So Warhol taught us that consistency comes from scalability. He created work that was repeatable, recognizable, and shareable. And so, as we can see, all of these artists shared one thing in common. They all understood that their art was a business, that art needed to be a niche to serve an audience. It needed branding, communication, marketing. They understood that selling consistently isn't about chasing trends, or as we can see through Warhol, not even about talent. It's all about creating emotion, story, and identity around your work. It's about serving an audience. But shouldn't art be more than just selling a product? Yes, I do partake in that idea. Even though I admire these artists for their business skills and I am a small business owner myself, I do believe that art should be more about uplifting consciousness, and I do believe that you can do that through business. You can create conscious businesses as well. And we see that everywhere nowadays. There's a lot of conscious businesses out there, a lot of fashion brands that work with ethical fashion, and a lot of businesses are changing the way they work. I am obsessed by the art period of the Renaissance, which was all about uplifting consciousness, all of the polymaths. I do believe art is a beautiful vehicle to change the world. And I'm an artist. All I want to do is make art all day. And I want to sell my art so I can do that, so that I can spend my precious time on earth with the people that I love and making art that I love, art that I believe in, art that I believe has a message. And to do this, we artists, we need to see our art as a beautiful exchange of energy that we are providing. We are providing healing, peace, transformation, beauty to the people who need it most. Sales in art is a good thing. It allows you to do more good because by the end of the day, you do need to pay your bills and you do want to create beauty in the world. So you can do both through art sales. And when I was making jewelry, I wasn't just making superficial fashion jewelry. My jewelry was healing jewelry, was spiritual jewelry, was jewelry that was carrying a message, that was making my clients feel something. They would feel uplifted wearing my jewelry. They were using my mala beads, my meditation jewelry for meditation. And you can take the same principle for the artwork that you make. So in art sales and in sales in general, it is really important to feel integrity, to feel that you are serving people, that you are doing something good, that you're creating exactly what people need, that you are being that person who's helping others through the things that you are creating. So now to the second part of this puzzle, all of these artists that I mentioned, they were all part or creating an art movement. Cubism was a new visual language. Surrealism was bringing in this dream quality, this catharsis, this way of being in an altered state that is so needed in the seriousness of life. And pop art was all about glorifying consumerism and the celebrity culture. Not my cup of tea, but it had its purpose, which is another side of humanity. This need to turn objects and humans into something divine. Can do that with our art. Not only you can turn your art into an important message, something that is more transformational to the world, a movement where others partake in, and this movement becomes a vehicle of change, a wonder, of transformation. So all of these artists were creating movement. So think of your own artwork. What are the things that you stand for? What do you want to bring into the world? What kind of changes you want to bring in or make? Think of that. Maybe journal about it so that you have more clarity. And lastly, make others fall in love with this through creating a movement and through networking. These artists were getting their ideas across. They were getting others excited about their vision. And when others are excited about your vision, they will pay for your art. So you don't need to copy these artist styles, but you can embody their mindset. Just see your art as a business doing good in the world. You can think like Picasso and evolve and reinvent yourself and reinvent your art. Like Dali, you can embody becoming unforgettable. Like Kusama, you can commit to your vision. Like Hirst, don't worry about the gatekeepers. Take control of your own life, of your business. And like Warhol, brand your world. So if you're ready to sell your art with more confidence, do subscribe to this channel. I will be talking about selling art and my own journey as an artist and selling my own art here. I do want to bring in more experts as well, just like I brought my friend Lily to talk about how to sell art. In the video, I will also link below. And if you want to unblock your originality, I do have a free masterclass in the link below on unblocking your creativity. So thank you for watching. See you next week. Ciao!